Hey guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. Today I'm reviewing On the Rocks from Apple TV Plus and A24. So On the Rocks is a new film that will be premiering on Apple Plus TV, and it's directed by Sofia Coppola, who has done some fantastic films, most notably Lost in Translation. And we bring back Bill Murray in this film. There's actually quite a stellar cast in my opinion. Rashida Jones is in it, Bill Murray's in it, Marlon Wayans in it. You have a lot of big comedy powerhouses in it. So if you're going into it expecting a lot of comedy like I was, you might be a little disappointed. This movie falls more under the vein of Lost in Translation. It feels like it's very influenced from that film, but it doesn't quite capture the charm and originality of that movie. While this movie does have all the hallmarks of Sofia Coppola's work, some really solid cinematography, some well-written dialogue, and overall just a very solid tone to it, it feels like it moves along a little slowly. It feels like it doesn't have a lot to say, in my opinion. The plot is very bare bones. It's very straightforward. You know where things are going from the beginning to the end. But if you go into it, you kind of just soak in the atmosphere and the characters in the movie, you can find a lot to enjoy with it. Bill Murray, in my opinion, is the shining light in this movie. He brings his trademark charm and charisma, his magnetism. Every time he's on scene, he steals the show. But one of the things that, kind of knocks it for me, in my opinion, is it doesn't have, the character of Coppola's previous works. It feels very simplistic. It feels like a very lighthearted movie that's felt to be very consumable to just average people to watch. There's not a lot beneath the surface. One of the things that I loved about Lost in Translation, and one of the reasons it's a fantastic film, is I feel like you can watch it again. You can just hang out with it. You can just kind of get a lot of things from that movie. This movie didn't really feel like that. It felt more like a kind of like funny little light-paced move-along thing. And I don't know, maybe it was just me, or maybe I just have to constantly compare it to Lost in Translation, but I don't know, it feels like it needs to be compared to it because it feels similar in many ways, just not to that level. It's hard for me to explain. And while the movie is fairly lighthearted, there are some really hard-hitting moments. I do like that there were moments of kind of somberness to this movie. It has a somber tone throughout at multiple points, and there's some conflicts that go back and forth between Laura, who's played by Rashida Jones, and Felix, her father, played by Bill Murray. And those kind of headbutting moments were some of the best moments. Them working together, they had great chemistry on screen. I feel like they played off each other really well. So when they're, having their kind of romp around New York or going to all the places they go to, trying to figure out the mystery of what's happening in this movie, that was great. But I don't know, if too few and far between did we get kind of a hard-hitting moment or anything more than kind of quippy back and forth between these characters. But like I said, you obviously are going to get solid cinematography from Sofia Coppola. You're going to get some well-written dialogue, and those both do happen in this movie. She has an ability to capture kind of the quiet, somber, mundane moments in life and make them kind of artistic. You look at them and you're like, you just look at it. You say, this is some good cinematography. I felt that way when I watched Beguiled. There's some moments, you see life in it passing by Rashida Jones' character, her feeling kind of in a rut is what's happening in the movie. And they're able to capture that really well in this one. But if I were to rate this movie, I would give it a solid 7.5 out of 10. Not exactly up to the caliber that I was expecting from, this filmmaker, this backing, but definitely one of the better things I've seen on Apple Plus TV. Like I said, all the technical aspects of the film were fantastically executed. The acting was solid. Just the plot was a little basic. The story was a little basic from what I was expecting from it. Let me know if you checked it out, and if you're going to check it out, what you think about it. Maybe you enjoyed it more than me. Maybe you're to just watch it and just soak it in and not... I felt like I'm constantly comparing it to Lost in Translation. I don't want to do that, but it felt like I needed to do that with this movie. So again, leave those comments. Remember to like and subscribe, and see you guys next time.